Hello, people. I gotta share the link, so give me a moment while I get this ready. Hi, people. If you're joining, I'm just sharing the link on social media. So give me a second, please. These are the days I wish my internet was faster. Also, it's quite dark here. Maybe I should turn on the extra lamp. Let me know in the comment section. Thanks. Hi, Binary Snow. Hi, Settler System. Thank you so much for allowing me to take my time while I'm having half panic attack of how I should hurry. Okay. Post this here. Horrible, these webcam thumbnails. I can only change it in the end, but then it's already all over social media. Okay. Gonna share this. Should work out. Oops. Oh well. I'm live. Okay. Hi, Kate. Hi, Life's Journey. Hi, Andy. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. How do I get rid of this box? There we go. Hi, my name is Avallon. You don't know me. I don't know you. But here we are. I was asked by Sar to host a live stream today. So nice to meet you. I do not have a introduction video on this channel or another channel for that matter. That would be a surprise, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm here to hang out with you folks for a little bit, get to know you, build some community, and calm down. Let me have a drink. Adam says, happy to see you all. This is relax time. No stress allowed. That's a difficult name. Difficult rule. Thank you. My name is with double L, but I appreciate everyone's effort because that's not an easy name. Not a very common name, but here we are. How is your day, everyone? Did you do anything interesting today in the comfort of your own home? If you're wondering why I'm watching there, that's where my chat box is. So if you want to leave me a message or answer one of the questions I'm telling to this camera thing, feel free to, and then we can have a chat together. If you missed yesterday, we're doing this to do some active community building while the world is stressed out and we are stressed out. And maybe you are stressed out. I don't know. I don't hope so. But we hope to bring some comfort here and a place to chill and build some community. So welcome to everyone just tuning in. If you missed it, my name is Avallon. I am a person in this system. Actually, I'm from a subsystem, but I'm in this system now. What? Does that make any sense to people? Hi, Hannah. Thank you so much for joining. Hannah is moderating for me tonight here. Today, it's not night for you all. It's night for me, though. Good binary snow. Same for us. Yeah, we're very stressed. But I guess it's understandable So today we got a phone call that our social workers are no longer coming over. And in the contract, it says we have the right to 8 hours of social work each week. But instead, we're getting 2 phone calls where they use the Dutch word for a short phone call. So, yeah, not very positive to look forward to. So it's a good thing that we're setting this up. We're also looking into other options still of what we could set up to build some more community and to, connect some more with each other, because we think it's really important right now that we, obviously we have to rely on the people around us, right, in these days. But since we're all plural or DID, I think it's also really important that we actively build community together as plurals, where we can help each other, listen to each other, and especially here on YouTube, find some distraction together. Adam is sharing that they have trouble to complete their to-do list. Yeah, same. For sure. Binary Snow says, as our co-host says, though, we went through the worst together. We can get through this together as well. Nice. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, Adam's social work will only be calling for now as well. Same for us. Yeah, it's tricky because normally we do like laundry with them and the dishwasher, and they do grocery shopping with us. And now we're like, okay, so like, good luck to us doing this. If you're wondering why we need help with that, it's because we switch to littles who get very upset and they like cry about it. And we can't seem to really do it in a more functional way, unfortunately. So, but we're gonna try. We have to. So we're building a safe space in our inner world where our littles can chill out while we are dealing with, real life, I guess. Outside life. That's a better word. Outside life. I'm sorry to hear that your system's anxiety has been a lot today. Dysfunctional multiplicity. That's hard. I'm sorry. You have to do therapy through an iPad because the therapist isn't allowed to talk on the phone where I live. Wow, that's really interesting, Kate, because here it's the opposite. Here they are only allowed to do the phone call. They can find software that is deemed safe enough under the European Union rules for the privacy laws, I guess. Sorry, that's really bad English. So because of the privacy rules by the EU, we can only do phone calls and not phone calls with, video. Yeah, we're also waiting for therapy to start Settler System, and we're also afraid it's not going to get started up anytime soon. Yeah, which is why it's extra important that we build a tight community together. Not because we replace therapy, but because we need something in place of therapy, right? So I think community is a good place to find some support from time to time. Yeah, what are some things that you and your system would like to see that would support you or that you think could support you? Let me know in the chat. We're very curious to hear all your ideas, right? Because we don't know if all the answers, and if you can think of a better system to do this to us, please let us know. Please work with us on this. Also, thank you for joining. If you're new here or you just tuned in, welcome. My name is Avallon. I'm new here. I don't have an introduction video, which apparently was shocking to some system members who do have a video. Actually, all of them who were like, whoa, they all had a video. So maybe that had to do more with it than me not having a video. But yeah, I've been fronting a lot lately, so we figured today would be a good day for me to be here. High five, Harry Clan. Welcome for joining. Yes, Zoom. Yes, we did look into Zoom in the past, but we found it hard to moderate with a large group of people we didn't know. But yeah, with friends, it's great. For sure. That was a Common by the Garden system, by the way, to use Zoom. Hannah says, unfortunately, therapy is probably going to be spotty for a while. Please reach out for support here or in our Facebook group Alternation. Also, I just want to give a shout out to Emma Sunshaw from System Speak Podcast, a podcast about dissociative identity disorder. They give trainings at the ISSTD, and they worked very hard all weekend to train all ISSTD therapists to be able to give teletherapy. I think it's called. It's basically therapy via phone. And they trained all ISSTD therapists and many other trauma therapists this weekend. So thank you so much, Emma, if you see this, for training ISSTD therapists. So people with DID can hopefully continue to have good therapy if their therapist is connected to the ISSTD. Settler System is recommending BetterHelp for online therapy, but I want to give the personal note that we have been rejected there twice now, and we've been accepted 0 times. So if you are not very stable, then you might not be accepted. So keep that in mind, because we were not aware that was a possibility, and it was painful. So hi, Trash Can System. Thank you for joining. Glad you could make it today. Binary Snow is unsure who's renting. Yes, that's complicated. We have that sometimes. It can be really frightening for us. Not all the time. Like sometimes it's just like, oh, I don't know who's here. But other times it can be scary. Oh, Kayla says, by the way, Avallon, I'm a singlet, but I'm an ally. Awesome. I didn't know we had an ally in the chat. Fantastic. Applause for Kayla for being here as an ally supporting Plurals. That's great. Kate says we use social media to be with support groups, even if we just do lurking. Just being with people in similar like-mindedness. Yeah, for sure, that helps. I'm sorry you got triggered 5 Harry Clint. That's difficult for sure these days. We hear you on that. Hannah is asking, can we talk about the kitties? Some happy talk. Yes, they are 5 days old today. They're very tiny still. And they are still underneath the scratching pole there. So mom has been doing great. The dad came to visit them, and he licked all the kittens to clean them. It was so adorable. So my kid and I, we sat there in front of the thing just watching them because it was so cute. So yeah, they're doing great. I hope if we keep this up, this daily live stream thing, you can all see them grow up, right? Once they are a little bit older, we can show them on the camera, but right now we cannot. They're still too tiny. So they're only 5 days old today. Hi, Linear System. Welcome. Other people as well. Welcome to the live stream as distraction for people with DID and all other forms of plurality. Welcome. If you have any questions about DID or something like that, plurality, feel free to throw it in the chat. Maybe I know an answer. And if I don't know an answer, there are 23 other people here, so maybe they have an answer. And else we can recommend some online resources for you. Yeah. We are building a Wormline platform for people who don't know, together with our nonprofit, the Plural Association. It will be a free platform where you can email, chat, or call with a lived experienced trained plural. And we are currently working to build the course for our volunteers so they can do an awesome job when they get you on the phone or in the chat or in the email. So that's what we're doing on the side. And now we're doing these daily live streams to provide some distraction for you all and to build some active community together as plurals. So thank you for joining. We're here every day, by the way, at 4 p.m. New York time and 9 p.m. Amsterdam time. That's the same time, by the way, just before people are going to Google when I will be online again. It's all the same time. Oh, Kate says they have Chihuahuas. Wow. Oh, you have a Chihuahua. She's 10 now. Amazing. They have puppies. Oh, 5 Arrow Clan, thank you so much. This live stream today is a real gift. We've been looking forward to it all day. That is great. That's why we're doing this. Thank you so much for the feedback. That's great. I will let Sarah know. She will do a little happy dance, I think. Settler System has a question. Can I get a good therapy for all of me with a therapist who is only for depression, anxiety, and kids? The body is 19, so the last point isn't the problem. Just I hope she can help if she is open-minded enough to accept my system. So if that's the case, she can give us therapy that can help us, because I hope so. I would ask if she is also specialized in trauma, but I think any licensed therapist can learn how to treat DID well, relatively easy, for example, by reading the ISSTD guidelines, which is far from perfect, but it is the only thing we have available at the moment, really, that is for free and easily accessible. It's there in English and French. So that's accessible through the ISSTD website. So maybe you can, if you're out of the closet to them, I don't know if that's the case, but if you are, then you can definitely send them a link to the ISSTD treatment guidelines. And the ISSTD also offers mentorship for therapists. So that's also something that your therapist could look into. I hope that helps. The linear system says, that's a great project. It's really difficult to be taken seriously when trying to explain DID and the trouble we have around it. Yeah, for sure. Can be very difficult for us as well. And the fact that you say we have that it's difficult to explain DID is really standing out to me, because you would expect that a therapist explains DID to you, right? In a way, but I hear you. It is very difficult to explain DID to someone. Hi, Pepper. Welcome. Good luck trying to be more open about DID. It can be a big step, but we wish you good luck. And we hope that this is good practice for you to be here in the chat. Andy's asking if there are any OSDD 1B systems here watching or in the chat. They are very curious what internal communication is like for you. So if you want to share that, please feel free to answer it in the chat. The linear system is explaining that they got a paper with medication prescribed and a letter that says see you in a month. That's really disappointing for sure. Yeah. We did a DNA test for medication, which showed that most things we can take. So we just give them that note, I guess. Yeah, but that's interesting. We have a video about that. If people want to know more about DNA testing for your medication, you can find it on our channel. Binary Snow says, especially hard for us larger systems. There is not much info on us in the field, and it sadly shows sometimes. Yeah, I very much agree with that. There is still a lot of stigma in the clinical community on larger systems. We are also a very large system with many subsystems. I don't think many people realize how many people we have in the system. So yesterday, Sarah was joking like, oh, every day someone else could do this. And we were all laughing at her later, like, yeah, every day someone else could indeed do this. Like, this is a promise we can actually keep. So that was really funny, actually. We laughed so hard about that later together. Trash can system explains that about OSDD 1B systems and internal communication. For us, we can verbally communicate inside somewhat, but we can also communicate via feelings or transmitting emotions. Our communication is not very good, but there is some form of communication within us. That's amazing. Yes, we do the same thing, and it's also in the tips that Emily, I think, wrote for internal communication. It's an article on our powertotheplurals.com website, and also a video here, I think, on YouTube. And in there, one of the tips, 11 tips for internal communication, one of them is to make contact with someone on the inside, for example, by holding hands or like laying a hand on a shoulder, and making contact in that way, for example, with non-human alters or with non-verbal folks in our system. That works really well for us as well. Settler system is explaining about OSDD 1B. It's like in a house calling someone. Most of the time we hear each other, but sometimes we are too far away. That makes sense. Five Heraclants is asking what OSDD 1B is. That's a very good question. Pepper answered it and says, OSDD 1B is not a dissociative disorder like DID, but the dissociative barriers are different. Yes, some people explain it as you have alters, but no amnesia. But I think it's more, personally, I think it has more to do with internal communication necessarily than amnesia. But if I'm wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I don't want to invalidate anyone's experience. I'm so glad, Binary Snow, that you found a therapist who gets it. That's so important. So well done to you and your therapist. Yana says, I'm so happy we had our first social work appointment today. The person we talked to has experience with people with DID, and we could maybe even get a social worker who brings their dog. That sounds amazing. That sounds so good, Yana. Fantastic. I wish I could get a social worker who brings their dog. We had a social worker once who was afraid of her dog when we still have one. So, yeah. That's the opposite. So it would be great if someone would bring their dog, actually. The OS says, we're really glad you all decided to do this. It's good to have community spaces like this, especially in times like this. Yeah, for sure. We agree. We're also glad we're doing this. We hope we can keep it up every day. We're kind of nervous about that, but so far we're okay. So, yeah. Trash can system is explaining about OSDD 1B that for them, they have little amnesia, little chunks of the day might be cut out. Certain tasks or even events might be cut out. It makes it hard to keep a proper schedule and get work done. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for sharing, Trash can system. That's valuable info. Kate is asking, do you have any tips on coming out to our brother? He's 15. We want to, by the way, we want to be out to more family. Tried coming out to our mom, but that didn't go well when we came out to our mom. Okay. Yeah. So you want to come out to your brother who was 15. Okay. It's a good question. I think it's like good to be, Let me form my thoughts before I answer this. I think I would, personally, I would explain it in a way that it's clear that it's a disorder. If you're talking about DID, right? Not plurality. Yeah. For me, I would be mostly scared that a 15-year-old would not understand the severity of what I'm trying to explain. And maybe it's not about getting across the severity, but I do think it's important that they understand what is going on if you're going to explain what's going on. Besides that, I would suggest watching our video on how to come out to a loved one, I think it's called. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but if you go on our channel and you type in the search bar there, coming out, you should be able to find it. There are 2 videos. One is for therapists or professionals, I think it's called. And the other one is for loved ones or family, something like that. And I'm sorry, I don't know better the notes. I personally have never come out to someone, asked Avallon, to be clear. I'm pretty sure other people in my system can, but I've never been oh, we have DID. So that's my best answer. Sorry. If that's not good enough, watch the video, please. Welcome to the new people. Hi, Alexandrite System. Thank you so much for joining. I'm glad you could make it today. Triscan System says, on coming out, I would try to explain it slowly and in terms that people who don't know it would understand, and maybe show them videos of what it's about, give them real life examples. Yeah, we also give real life examples to people, to family. Do you remember when I was 10 and I did this? That was actually this person in our system. That's how that's the kind of examples we gave to family. And they recognized, they even knew some of the names. They were like, oh, yeah, you used to call yourself this or that. I'm avoiding those names on purpose. Sorry. And he says, Avallon, thank you for all you and your system do for the community. It is greatly appreciated, and you are all so valued too. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will pass along the message to people who do more for this channel and the work we do, because this is my very first video ever. I'm doing okay though. Everyone is very proud of me in my system. So that's good. They're cheering me on. Earlier, I wanted to leave. I was like, sorry, can't do this anymore. I don't know the answer to the question. And then Sarah was like, it's okay, Avallon. You don't have to know all the answers to every question. So I'm okay. We're helping each other. Melissa, thank you so much for joining us. Better late than never. Yeah, for sure. We appreciate you could be here again today. Settler System says, if I showed my BF memes, I showed my BF memes about it, and she met us all. And when I told her, it was like, oh, now it makes sense. Now she's our best friend. That's fantastic. Our best friend. That's how it's written. Thank you, Adam. I'm trying my best. It's an adventure, right? So, and he says, yes, meme education. Very important. Maybe that's how I have to do the homeschooling with our kid. Yeah, that's fantastic. Also, please like the video if you like this, if you appreciate that we're doing this, that we're trying to actively build community. Please give the video a like, so we can look back later and be like, okay, people enjoyed this, and it was a good live stream. So thank you so much, everyone, for for participating also in the chat, or if you're just watching, that's also okay. Everyone is free to do what they want, basically, as long as it is respectful. No doubt. Hello. No doubt about it. That's a great name. No doubt. Sounds very sturdy. I like it. What time is it? 9:30. Awesome. For me. Thank you, Hannah. I'm trying. Yes. It's been a busy night. I had a phone call. Well, not me. Someone in me had a phone call with a volunteer of the Plural Association to talk about a course for our volunteers for live chats. If we were to set that up, how we could best do that, and what kind of rules we should follow or set up for that. So if you would be interested in joining a live chat from time to time, then let me know in the comments, and we will look into it more. Mr. Val says, we have been in a relationship for 3 years or so before Pepper told me that they have the idea, and it suddenly made things a lot more sense. Yeah, that yeah, for us, like when we found out ourselves that we had the idea, it also made a lot of sense to us. Yeah. It was like puzzle pieces falling into place, and yeah. Alexandrite System says that's very exciting. 5 Hairy Clint says, so glad to hear the worm line is moving along. Gordon System says, we would. Fantastic. The Linear System says this is the very first video that we gave a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Good night. And we're here tomorrow again. If you want to join again tomorrow, we're here at 4 p.m. New York time. So thank you for joining. Trashcan System says, I'd also love to join a live chat as well. That's great. And they also said, we talked previously about how to come out to family, but I wonder about coming out to more skeptical family. I've tried in the past, but they tried to invalidate us, honestly. So for me, what I've done, my dad is still invalidating us. Even though he like says, oh yeah, I remember you called yourself this when you were this year, like that young or whatever, right? He remembers us switching, and like, so it's very contradicting. But anyway, he still denies us or like invalidates us. And so for us, what we have like realized is that it doesn't change our truth. And we also compare it for ourselves to being trans, coming out, and people not taking that seriously. You know, that doesn't change your gender and validate your gender. So it's the same when you come out as plural. And unfortunately, some people are gonna, you know, be skeptical or deny your personhood or your existence. But it shouldn't change. You know, it doesn't change that you're a system. But it also shouldn't change about how you feel about being a system, right? If you want to be out, then you have the right to be out. And it's going to be annoying, right? Like when you use different pronouns, is that people assume, or maybe even you share pronouns with someone and they ignore it and they just use whatever pronouns they want to use for you, which is super rude. Don't do that. But it happens. And I guess it's the same with plurality, right? Instead of your pronouns, maybe it's both, but you say your name, and if people don't call you by your name, you know, that really sucks, but you just got to keep correcting them. And yeah, you know, if you really want to be out, then that's, in my opinion, the best way to do that. And for us, what we do is that, you know, with some people we are out and with other people not. And then like with our dad, for example, he knows that we're plural. So we're out to him. But we just have no expectations at this point, because if we have expectations, then we're just getting disappointed. So we will like correct him, for example, But I guess we won't fight about it anymore. We're done with that. But we did back in the day, but now we don't anymore. I hope that makes sense. Sorry if I'm rambling. Adam says, yeah, that's a good comparison. Actually, I'm trans and the other, so it's very much like how you were saying. Trash can system says, mother and brother tend to ask things like, so what was your trauma? And there's like a big no in this community. It's super annoying and somewhat triggering as well. Yeah, for sure. My dad also really doesn't understand, which is mind-blowing to me, but okay. Also gave up on that. He wanted proof. I didn't have proof. So yeah, it was a short conversation, I guess. And he says, yeah, that metaphor works really well for explaining a lot of things about it. Binary Snow says, we had someone say we were confused because our old host was an actor. Just had to remember he doesn't define our truth. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Hannah says, I think skepticism for my family regarding explaining that trauma is personal and can mean many different things and examples. Yeah, we talked about that the other day, that trauma is not so much about what happened to you, but more about how your brain responded while an overwhelming experience was happening. And also the DSM-5 explains that DID is associated, not caused by overwhelming experiences, traumatic events, or abuse in childhood. So I think those overwhelming experiences are super valid, and we should talk more about that. And also in regards to, what trauma is. But if you don't have trauma, that's also valid. And you should also be able to, share that with family. But I can understand that can get really tricky with people. Like, even without that, like I told my dad that I have trauma, but he still, found research that would say that I was, going to be dangerous myself or something like that. Not even research, just like crappy articles, right? Like, or maybe movies that we all know are like really not a representation of DID, but he still would use it as an example. Like, this is what's going to happen with you, or this is why, whatever. So yeah, it's a problem if people have a vision like that. It can be really hard to break through. And then I think sometimes in families, like if that dynamic is already off and you don't have that open, safe communication where people are respected on a not day-to-day basis, but like in general, some people you can call and you can be vulnerable and you can share your hard story. And then with other people, like if you call, you better just avoid that kind of talk, I guess, for us. And so if you already are like on the avoidance path with some people, it can be really difficult to really get through to them on what is going on with you. The Alexandrite system noticed a cat stretching in the background. I missed it myself, but that's cute. Adam says, I've told my family and they act like I never told them. Yeah, exactly. Our dad does that sometimes. I have to remind him. Like a few years ago, he asked, I wouldn't say the other day. So I was like, that was like a few years ago, right? No, I had no idea. A few years ago, all of a sudden my dad was like, I found this job for you. And it was like, I'm on full disability, right? So my government sent a doctor who said, okay, you are not allowed and not able to work because littles could be in the workplace and they could not be responsible for me. That is their argument. Anyway, my dad called me and was like, I found a job for you. And he pretended like I didn't have a job because I don't know, I didn't want to, or maybe he thought like I was, I don't know, trying to find a job, but I couldn't find a job maybe. And so I had to explain to him again, like, Dad, I'm on disability, right? I'm not allowed to work. Like, what? Like, why are you spending time on finding a job for me? That's so random. Like, completely tried to ignore the DID. And he says parents, yeah, for sure. Melissa has a sister who is also DID who gets it. No one else accepts us. We have no contact with the rest of our family of origin. Yeah. That's hard, Melissa. I'm glad you have a good chosen family. For sure. We also have no contact with the rest of our family. The Alexandrite system says the thing that kind of broke through with our family was just forcing them to engage with it. Like an I was out and make them talk to you as you. Not for everyone, but seems to work for us. Yeah, I agree on that. We've done that with certain friends who were like not understanding the ID, and they expressed that. They said like, we want to understand, or I want to understand better, but I don't understand. And then once we like started to show and took off the mask, they understood better. Yeah. Settler system says that's also relatable. I love and need this community so much. Thank you. I'm so sorry someone said that to you, Cameron crew. That's horrible. Also, thank you for joining. Feudal wins. I'm so sorry that your mom invalidated you like that. That's sad. Shine Your Light Collective, welcome. Thank you for joining. We consider our own system our family. Yeah, same for us. They continue writing, though it's not really a chosen family. It's more like a family that was always there, but didn't recognize it until later on in life. Yeah, for sure. We recognize that a lot. Just the other day, we were like, this is our, actually was when our subsystems came together. We talked about this, about how we can be family if we want to, right? How we can consciously make that choice to build a healthy family in the inside. Even if not everyone wants to participate in that, it doesn't mean that we cannot set the right example. That was what it came down for. What we talked about in our system the other day. I'm sorry, Miss Functional Multiplicity, that someone is invalidating your daughter. That's sad. The Alexandrite system says, even if you don't choose your system members, you can choose for them to be your family. Yes, exactly. That's very well put. Thank you. Cameron Crew is explaining that their mother calls them characters instead of people, or I don't know what their preferred term is for inside people, other people, headmates. That's really difficult. Yeah, I don't think I even have like come that far with my dad. Like if he sees us as characters or what he thinks about that. I'm also really scared of the answer. I have to say, like some people inside are like freaking out just by the thought of like asking him that. Cameron Crew says crewmates. That makes so much sense. Fantastic. Thank you. I will try to remember. We still automatically go to alters, which we don't want to use that word for ourselves or other people, but we still go back to it. We've been using it for so many years. It's really difficult to change your language, to be honest. But we're trying. So thank you for joining. If you're new, my name is Avallon. I'm also new, so welcome. Yes, cat in the window. There is like this little thing where like we have stickers on the window so people can look inside because we live downstairs and there's like a walking road right next to our house. so people can look inside because of the plastic they can't. But there's a little line there, and she's always sitting there looking under it to see if she can see something outside. And then at night, the cars drive by, so it's like lights pass by, and she's so intrigued by it. She can sit there for hours, especially if the heater is on like now. She's like sitting there very cozy. Thank you, Shine Your Light Collective. Binary Snow says we use headmates or users partitions, partitions. I don't know how to pronounce that. I know what the word is as a reference to computers and as a pun, yes, but I don't know how to pronounce it. That's really funny how that happens sometimes. Alexandrite System says we're a little nervous about telling our parents about the non-human members of our system because it feels like every extra weirdness might be like one thing too far. Yeah, we hear that. We read an email from a friend yesterday who actually lost a friendship because the friend was okay with her being the ID, and they were like having quite a long-term friendship, but when they started explaining about non-human alters, the other party ended the friendship. So that's really sad, actually. And I totally don't understand that, because for me it makes so much sense to have non-human alters, that that I don't really understand what the problem is, what the issue is, or like why people think it's such a controversial topic. Because like we did a poll in Alternation, our empowerment and support group on Facebook. We asked 200 people there if they have non-human alters, and 80% of them answered yes, which is a lot. And then for me, especially if we look at DID or OSDD in childhood, to me it makes a lot of sense to create non-human alters as, either comfort or protection. And so, yeah, we actually called out some therapists in Orlando at the Infinite Mind Conference about this, because they said like that it was very rare. It was in a talk for therapists, and they were talking about children with they were talking about autistic children, and they were talking about how playing with dinosaurs made so much sense and blah blah blah. It was a great talk. And then all of a sudden it was about non-human alters in DID, and they were like, yeah, that doesn't exist, or that doesn't make sense. It's very rare. And I was like, why does it make sense for you to say that all autistic children play with dinosaurs, which is not true, and then say that non-human alters never happen, or like very rarely happen. So yeah, really that was a really interesting discussion we had there. Okay, let me check up on the chat. Welcome to the new people. Settler System says, I always say my peoples, if someone hears what I'm saying but don't know about my system, they will think I'm talking about some friends. Yeah, we do that sometimes. Binary Snow also says, most of us are non-human, and sadly we feel we have to pretend we are human most of the time. All the time. All the time. Yeah, we have a lot of non-humans as well. I don't know many humans in our system, actually. So, yeah. Future Wind says most of our brain buds are non-humans as well. But I don't feel comfortable talking about it with my family. Yeah. That makes sense. Trash Can System says, I believe we're in alternation. At least I recognize your name when you said it yesterday, but Facebook stresses us out, so we don't go there. Fair enough. Yeah. Lots of notifications and tiresome sometimes. It's a great group, though. If you can turn the rest of Facebook off and just be in the group, it's that might work. Cambrian Crew says, we know a DID system with not only non-human alters, but like object alters. Makes good sense, because humans and non-humans can be hurt, but objects are less subject to pain. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We had a lengthy discussion once with the Chris's from Liberated Life Coaching about this. If objects are alters in every system or in some systems, or like how you make that definition or the differentiation between between that. So, for example, we have different planets in our inner world. And so we were talking if the planets are actually alters, to use that word, alters. I'm just reading the comments, by the way. The Outcast System says, I hang out in the Other King community a lot. They're all chill with the non-human headmates. Yeah, for sure. Hannah says, I hope you all feel okay knowing that you are not obligated to tell anyone. Do what is safe for you. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's very important to be safe and to only come out to people you know is safe to come out to. Binary Snow says, yeah, we have some object users ourselves. 2 of them we have found so far. Humans hurt us, but the woods were safe is very much a thing for us. We love that so much. That's so amazing, Binary Snow. Thank you so much for sharing that. The Alexandrite system says, system stuff brings up such interesting philosophical questions that singlets either never want to engage in or only engage with it to invalidate systems, which is a shame. Yeah, for sure. And these conversations are awesome, right? I love to think about these things and define them. Trashcan System asks, what do you think about those that don't really have an inner world? For us, we consider our world in The Sims 4 as our inner world because it's just so difficult to build one inside for real. Yeah, for sure. It can be very hard for some people to build an inner world inside. We still feel like it should be doable, but then we hear from other people that it's not. So we don't want to invalidate that experience, right? For us though, I think sometimes people misunderstand how our inner world works. We have this inner world series here on YouTube, which is 6-7 episodes, I think, of different alters explaining what their part of the inner world looks like, or where they're from. And so people maybe assume that we have a really elaborate visual aspect of our inner world. We don't. We have a very active inner world, but it's for most of us a lot more auditory than visual. And then also we do a lot of it subconscious. So for example, if one of the children is crying, I can ask, hey, Esther, can you, go to the children and help them and make sure that they are no longer crying. But then I don't follow Esther into the mind space and see what she's doing and how she's comforting these littles. I don't do anything consciously about that. The only thing I consciously do is ask, hey, Esther, can you go take care of the littles? And I think some people misunderstand that. They think we sit here for hours and envision our inner world and everything that needs to happen. And it's not really like that for us. I'm just reading the comments from people sharing about their inner worlds and about tree members, which is fantastic. We can only see what's inside, or we just have a vague idea of what's happening, says Binary Snow. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing, everyone, in the chat. That's very exciting. I feel some things are maybe too personal to say out loud, so I'll just leave it in the chat. And I hope everyone who's here can participate in that or read it. Settler System says inner world stuff is the topic in the community with the most differences, I think. Yeah, for sure. Everyone's inner world is, of course, different. Someone asked us once to make a hypnosis file because we did the Plural Positivity World Conference session on do-it-yourself inner world. I think that's a short version on this channel. I think it was like upgrade your inner world or something that we did for Plural Positivity World Conference last year. And then after that, someone said, this is really nice, but I don't want to like do self-hypnosis. Can you make a hypno file that builds an inner world for me? And we were like, no, we cannot, because we don't want everyone to end up with the same sort of inner world. Like that would be so freaky. So we didn't do that. So yeah, there's a lot of differences between people. And I think that's good. I think that makes it unique and makes it feel like home. The Alexandrite system says our strongest sense in the inner world is probably touch, which makes explaining some things difficult. Yeah, for sure. That's really interesting. I would love to learn more about that. But I understand that is very difficult to explain. Trash can system explains that they get headaches and that board meetings are difficult. They fail because some alters are hard to reach or just refuse to participate. Yeah, for sure. For us, our board meetings, but because we're a very large system, I guess we have that option. So not everyone has to participate. People sign up for a specific time frame, mostly a year, where they can be on the board. And if they don't want to be on there anymore, they can leave at any time, and we will find someone else for them because we don't want to force anyone to be there because it just makes voting not good in our system and in our experience. That can bring trouble for us. I hope you can find a way that works for your trash can system. Cambrian Crew says we have a paracosm and a mindscape. What is a paracosm? I have to Google this, or someone has to explain it to me in the chat. The mindscape is squishy and easy to alter according to our whims and generally vague. The paracosm is like a whole other world. Yes, we call them planets, but someone the other day asked if it were worlds and if we were hence a gateway system. And then we had a talk on Twitter with some people from Plural Gang who were kind enough to explain to me the best definition or their personal definition, I guess, of gateway system. And so we felt like maybe that didn't apply to us after all. But we do have a huge inner world. And I guess it also depends on whom you ask in our system, if our inner world is internal or external. Paracosm is a writing term for a detailed created world. Amazing. I've never heard of that word. Thank you so much for teaching me something new, Cambrian Crew. Binary Snow says system votes in large system is weird. We ended up electing representatives to vote for the subsystem's wishes. Yes, same for us. We have one person on the board for every subsystem. Nim's Time says, I'll tell you something very weird. Whenever we go through any traumatic event, there is a natural disaster going on in the inner world. Depending on the trauma, they can be severe or mild. Yes, we've heard of that before from, I think, someone else. Maybe it was you. I don't know. Yeah, I think we spoke to more people who have that. We only had it happen once, and it wasn't so much a traumatic event. It was more like an internal struggle. That's not the right word. I guess an internal trauma maybe, or like an internal attack, something like that. And then we had a natural disaster in the inner world as well. Thank you to the new people for joining. If you haven't yet, please like the video. We are doing some active community building for plurals and people with dissociative identity disorder, so we can, spend some time together and find some distraction from what is going on in the world. Oh, also, if you haven't heard yet, Jade Miller, they released some reading of a children's book for those with littles. So you can go to their website and from there you can listen to them reading a audiobook to your littles for you if you're interested in that. Trashcan System says, do you have tips for starting and maintaining a YouTube channel? I have a few videos up, but I think it's hard to regularly record and upload. Well, that is my tip. Regularly record and upload. It's so very difficult to do for us as well. Like we have, if you look at our YouTube history, it's horrible. We have weeks where we upload 6 times and then we have months of nothing. And then it's very hard to spread out for us. And for us personally, we have like this thing where we record and then we edit and then we want it online as soon as possible. Like even scheduling it doesn't feel good enough for us. Like we feel it's like so important that the information gets out there. But it would be a lot better to wait and do once a week. Yeah, if you can. Let me get a drink real quick. Ooh. I've been talking for like an hour, so. So other tips for starting a YouTube channel is making a list of standard videos that anyone in your system can make. For example, like an introduction video about a system member, one about the inner world, if they are from a special place in the inner world, if that is something that happens in your system. For example, one about where they do a day in the life off. One with what kind of outfit they like to wear, like outfit of the day from this altar. So you have a list and write all these things. And then when you switch, when someone else is fronting or you have the day you want to record, the person who is going to record the day can just look at the list and pick something. And then the second list that we have is filled with educational topics that people can either research, make notes on, or record. And those in that order. And so we, some of us like to make educational videos, others don't. And so it depends on which list we check, depends on who is fronting, I guess. But personally, we haven't been able to make pre-recorded videos for a long time now. We are not exactly sure, but we do hope to get back into it one day. And we're very glad that these live streams are working out. So that's a good thing. Okay, let me check up on the chat. Someone asked if you can have trauma in the inner world. Yes, my answer is yes. And someone else said it's called, Cambrian Crew said it's exotrauma. And it's very valid. Yes, it is very valid. And for some systems, that's a huge struggle. Inner world trauma. Yeah, it can really disrupt someone's life, unfortunately. So if you deal with that, I'm very sorry. Thank you for sharing, Pepper. Binary Snow says, sometimes, yes, we've had users split because of actions of another, but it was tied to something we went through in real life. So if it was internal, it's hard to say. Fair enough. Yeah. The Outcast System says they listened to the audiobook by Jade Miller and the kiddos loved it. That's great. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Trash Can System says, editing is another thing. It's so awkward to just watch yourself talk. Well, yeah, for hours, right? For hours. It's so tiresome. All our videos get edited by Emma. She's 12 years old. She's the best, but she's also the only one who can handle it. Like, we can't even watch back our videos that are already edited, let alone the version where all the mistakes are in and we like get frustrated with ourselves. Yeah, it's really difficult. It's a lot of dedication. The Alexandra system says having a list of ideas on standby is always helpful to us. Yeah, for sure. Camberine Crew says editing is terrible. Not only is it rough watching yourself speak, it's not easy tool-wise to trim out pauses and such. Not with tools we've tried anyway. Yeah, for sure. It's difficult editing. It's a lot of work. That makes sense, DOS. We have it like that sometimes. They were sharing about how they have not been able to find representatives for subsystems and things are too chaotic. Basically, we just hear from about 20 people who are in close vicinity and hope other people are okay with it. Yeah, we have that as well. Sometimes we, like the other day, someone asked like, oh, can you meet with us this weekend? And we were like, Sarah was like, no, I cannot. I'm very busy this weekend. And then other people were like, whoa, you could have asked us, right? We would have reserved time. So yeah, we do that as well sometimes, but we've learned to, or we're learning to sometimes take a step back and check extra well inside. So Melissa says, we're tired. We're going to close down. Yeah, us as well in a couple of minutes. Thank you so much for being here, Melissa, and for joining us yesterday and today. We really appreciate it. And all the work you do in alternation and for the Plural Association Nonprofit. Thank you so much. Nim's Time says, we just wanted to say we love your channel a lot. I wish my little would know English too, so they could listen to the book too. Yes, it's not my channel, but yeah, that would be great if it was available in other languages, huh? Maybe in the future we will ask Jade. What language do you speak? If you want to share it, Nims. Maybe you don't. That's also okay. Hi, Coffee Gang System. Thank you for joining. Welcome. The Alexandrite system says Sandra does all of our editing because we know she'll be picky about how it turns out. If it were up to some of the others, every video would be an hour-long dissociated mess. Yeah. Yeah, we hear you on that. Emma also has her own way, and if we do it in another way, she has her opinion on that. Binary Snow says, sometimes voting is just, do we do this thing? Collective screaming. I'll take that as a no. Yeah, that's very true. That's a mood. Nim's Time says, we speak Romanian, English, and a bit of Russian. That's amazing. Wow. Hi, Plurality Dolls. Thank you for joining. Welcome. That's fantastic. We speak Dutch, English, a little bit of French, and a little bit of Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, folks, I think I'm going to close the stream, but we will be here tomorrow again at 4 p.m. New York time, and that is 9 p.m. here in Amsterdam. So thank you so much for joining. Feel free to sign up for Alternation Plural Safe Space on Facebook, and we hope to see you again tomorrow for some distraction and some community building, because we think it's important that we actively work on that. And please know that we are also working in the background to set up other platforms and other things that we can hopefully soon utilize and make public and share with you all. So we hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Please be safe. Take care of each other. Wash your hands and stay inside if you can. Thank you so much. Have a great night and a great evening. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Please like the video if you haven't yet. Bye.